Ah, college. Why must you be so expensive? There's something about campus life I've always found appealing. It's like this strange community of people who can't legally drink, but do anyways. And these places just look nice. Especially if you're a brick building enthusiast. Earlier this year, I set out to visit the most expensive university in the US, as well as the cheapest. Here's why. Nowadays, institutions of higher learning aren't just selling higher learning. They're selling vibes, offering luxurious amenities to attract potential students and trick them into studying art history. These perks serve to drive up demand and let schools charge higher prices. So I was curious to see just how different these two campuses would look. There's a lot going on here. I won't be focusing on the education you receive because, I'm not qualified for that. Rather, I'll be commenting on their looks exclusively. Maybe it's a little vain, maybe a little shallow. Shallow like a lazy river. I must say, this investigation has reminded me how ridiculous the whole college search process is. I mean, there's so many lists out there. Most beautiful campus, best student life, colleges with unusually accessible teachers. Why write it like that? Were they like on the apps or something? Hot professors in your area want to chat about last night's readings. Did you do them? I already mentioned the LSU Lazy River as a ridiculous amenity. Some colleges host their own music festivals for some reason. You thought camping in the desert for Coachella took dedication? How about enrolling at Penn State? Apparently MIT installed a ball pit in one of their dorms. You just know somebody's tried to get freaky in this thing. But according to several lists ranking the most expensive colleges, the University of Southern California takes the cake. Just gobbles it right up. Nom nom nom. To visit the campus, I went to USC's website and booked myself a tour. Now, these are clearly meant for high schoolers, and I am not that. Just a grown adult, which I was a little worried they would not allow. I've been rejected from colleges before. I don't know if I could handle getting rejected from looking at one. But sure enough, they had an option for visitors, so apparently the only limit is your own sense of shame. USC is located right in the middle of LA and has its own public transit stop, which I used to get to campus. I was joined by my friend Areg.
What up?
Just two guys exercising free will.
Like, if you guys should just like scream out at the same time what year of high school you're in, just wait, I have to be out. 3, 2, 1.
Sophomore.
Junior and sophomore.
To describe this place in one word, ornate, just look at this building, or this building, or this bench. There were engravings everywhere, and gargoyles. But first, we had to visit the admission center for a presentation.
That was not here during my time at USC, but those spaces are constantly shifting.
They gave us a brochure with various facts and figures, including the price tag. But it also teased some of the resources you get in exchange, academic programs such as film and television production, sports management, astronautical engineering, and something called lifespan health. It's probably similar to biology, but I like to imagine they just have undergrads hunting for the Holy Grail. Now, for the tour. The first thing that stood out to me was the sheer quantity of fountains. Fountains that went up. Fountains that went down. This one was being guarded by a horse. Yeah, it's like a suspicious amount of running water for Southern California. The buildings have a lot of brick. Something else that any self-respecting university has is randomly placed modern art that doesn't make any sense. It's a double-sided spoon. The second half of the tour is when things really heated up because that's when they started name dropping. one of the biggest flexes was their on-campus film studio.
Anyone here ever seen Star Wars? Yes, like Star Wars.
Have you seen Star Wars? The whole school kind of felt like one giant movie set.
These guys are for sure paid actors.
At the end, I asked our very helpful tour guide to point us to the fanciest place on campus.
I would definitely go to Who's Library or Who's Philosophy Library. It's all the way down there. It is the most beautiful library ever.
The inside of this building was just crazy. If you didn't know you were in a library, there were these helpful winged lion statues. Finally, we headed to the USC Village, which looked like a European plaza.
This is like straight up Vegas, dude.
Cheers. All right, first impressions. What do you think?
Buildings look crazier, everything's more detailed. More money has been poured into like the campus.
You just feel the money, kind of. You're paying $100,000 a year. You're getting the name recognition, and you're getting LA. But I mean, all of the like fancy buildings they showed us are really nice. I just don't know how many of those you actually end up going to if you're
Like
studying
the day-to-day life.
in your as an undergrad. How much do you go to the Hall of Fame with all the Heisman trophies? You just go there and stare at them like, yeah, that's us. Like I don't know. Part of the reason USC is so pricey and is able to look like Southern California Hogwarts is that it is a private school, meaning it gets its funding from tuition and donors and not public taxpayer funds like a state school, which is what our next university happens to be. All right, I'm back. USC gave me this sticker. Oh my god. USC gave me this sticker right here. It's very generous of the Trojans. Missed opportunity to give out condoms though. So it's a bit harder to find the cheapest university. Typically the listicles online are like best value colleges or best university for your budget. Not like literally show me the cheapest education I can get. Quality be damned. But according to my search, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke seems to be as low as you can go at just $7,611 per year. That is roughly a tenth of USC. And public schools offer reduced tuition for in-state students. I am quite eager to check this place out. UNC Pembroke, or Unc Pembroke as I'll be calling it, is in a much more remote location. It's funny, I took public transit to get to a private school, and now I'm taking private transit to get to a public school. You can't write this stuff. As soon as I arrived, I was greeted by a local community member. Freaking wasp just flew into my car. Hello, guy. Go away, please. We started by checking out their newest building, which was rather impressive. This classroom displays real-time stock market activity. Makes sense, it's in the business school. Although this is the only classroom I saw, so they could all look like this, who knows? They're like, hey, our students need to check their portfolios too. The rest of the campus is sure to satisfy brick lovers, but it features designs that are more modest compared to USC. The smaller buildings are reflective of a smaller student body. Still, there's no shortage of things to explore, like a concert hall, a beautiful central lake, and plenty of modern art. It's not quite the fountain factory that USC was, but I don't think USC has a single bridge, so Point Pembroke. Couple of bros hanging out. Guess I made it awkward. Here's something kind of weird. Both campuses have statues named Tommy. Huh. In terms of athletics, it's really not a fair comparison. Pembroke is Division II, and USC is this storied D1 program that has produced some truly killer athletes. But apparently the students still enjoy a good game day tailgate. And they may not have a Hall of Champions, but they do have something far more enriching with their on-campus Museum of the Southeast American Indian. The university actually began as an institution for training Native American teachers. It joined the UNC system in 1972, but still respects its roots by having students take courses on indigenous cultures to graduate. The final stop on my tour was the Student Center, and this place kind of blew me away. You can enjoy a game of pool, or some bowling, and maybe after you can pwn some noobs at the esports center. Maybe I'm easily impressed, but with amenities like these, it's easy to forget that this place costs less than a trampoline. I really enjoyed my visit. UNC Pembroke definitely feels like a vibrant campus community, showing that cheaper does not mean lackluster. So how does this place stay so affordable? Well, it's thanks to the NC Promise program, which sets tuition at a significantly reduced rate, while the state government picks up the rest of the tab. The 4 participating schools have certainly seen a boost in enrollment, and it's no surprise more people want to come, as a large portion of the students graduate debt-free. Although the Promise program has faced some budget deficits recently, and next year tuition for out-of-state students is set to increase, ultimately it's up to the North Carolina taxpayers to decide if the economic benefits are worth the cost. It should be noted that private schools offer a lot of scholarships, so many students don't end up paying full price. Still, state schools are generally the cheaper option, yet their prices have been rising steadily. Whenever state funding decreases, like what happened after the Great Recession, public universities often scramble to fill in the gap with tuition increases. This environment creates competition for students who are willing to pay more. Hence, amenities. There's a lot more complexity to this issue, but ultimately it takes a principled approach from state legislatures to bring tuition down. If schools are told, hey, the tuition is the tuition, you can't raise it, that could encourage them to use the funds they have more efficiently. It might mean less flashy facilities and services, but that stuff shouldn't matter as much as getting a quality, affordable education. Having finished college myself, class of 2020, we didn't get a graduation by the way, it was interesting putting myself in the shoes of an applicant. As a high schooler, you don't really know what you want. It's very easy to get swept up in the romantic idea of a 3-story rock climbing wall that realistically you would use once and never again for 4 years. When I was 17, I wanted so badly to go to the University of Miami. I saw pictures like this and was like, I have to be there. I mean, a friggin' bridge? Where else are you gonna find one of those? But holy crap, it was too expensive. I actually ended up going to a state school and had a great time. I do think it's fair to seek out the best college experience you can get, but that is much more determined by the people you meet and the opportunities you take advantage of, not the strength of the school's brand. In the end, college is what you make of it, and there's plenty of great places to call home for 4 years. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge shout out to the tour guides who helped me throughout this process. Like and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate that. This video was a lot of fun to make, and now I have a hat that says UNC on it, so that's awesome. Let's see, I went to college. I went to like a big like state school, pretty big like party school, which was interesting. Because when I was in college, I was a tour guide, which is what all the cool kids did, and they would tell us like, okay, you're gonna get this question: is the school a party school? And what you have to tell them is that every school has parties. That's a terrible answer. Yeah. That sounds like something a party school would say, actually. Yeah, if somebody told you, like, everybody's a little racist, you'd be like, all right, so maybe not, but you definitely are.